Hey and welcome to this new video. I actually planned on not inserting myself in any drama, especially when it's not about me. But since this is more like my personal opinion on a certain human being, I decided it would be a good idea to put out my own personal opinion. So, as you can probably tell from the title, I'm going to talk about YandereDev. I mean, a lot of people have talked about him already, and I feel like I should talk about him as well, because A, he used to be a hero of mine when I was still in 7th grade. I was 14 at that time, or 13, I don't know. And B, because I really think more people should open up their eyes. I'm not here to expose him, or to embarrass him, or to make him look like a demon. I'm merely here to point out the truth, and the absolute truth. So I'm going to start with the question, who is YandereDev? His actual name is Alex Mahan, and he is on the internet for a very long time. I'm not completely sure how old he is, but I think he's around the age of 30. Yeah, I think he's 32 years old. That's what I heard. And he is the game developer of several games, and his most popular one is Yandere Simulator, and I am pretty sure you have already came across that one because a lot of very famous YouTubers have already played it, and there's this one hashtag on Twitter trending right now, RIP YandereDev. I can tell you from the beginning, he is not dead. He is fine physically. I'm not sure about mentally, but he's alive. He's well. And what I also can say from the very beginning is that I will not stay neutral. My opinion should be very clear of him. I'm very upset with him, and I totally do not approve of his actions, and many people can agree with me. So I'm just going to start with who or what is what is Yandere Simulator, his most popular game. It's a 3D game. He's using Unity assets that he either bought or stole. I suppose he bought them. It's about an emotionless, cold-hearted girl who fell in love with a boy, and now she wants to prevent him falling in love with anyone else. And in doing that, you have to eliminate your rivals. I think there are 7 rivals. I'm not sure. Hold on, let me look it up. Yeah, okay. There are 8 rivals. I apologize for the thing, but since when I'm good enough in editing, I will just cut that short break out. Okay, so you have to eliminate 1 rival each week. You're starting out with Asana and move on with the next few rivals. He started developing the game around 2014. That was also when PewDiePie and Markiplier started to play the game, and Jacksepticeye, and that's how it basically gained its popularity. He started to get 5k in a month on Patreon because people like the idea. I mean, it is a very good idea. It's an anime game, and you're basically playing in a school. You have to kill your rivals in many ways. So, considering the fact that he started out in 2014, you might think, hey, he should be done by now, right? Yeah, no, psych. He hasn't even released the first rival, which would be the easiest rival, and from what we see right now, the first rival is very hard already, because there's a girl around her who's protecting her 24/7, all that jazz, so the chances of, you know, killing her properly and the chances of her getting released are very slim. But before we continue with the Yandere Simulator, we should go back in time to the era where YandereDev wasn't really there. To the time where YandereDev was X Fun. I'm just gonna call him Eva. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna call him Alex because that's way easier than the name. I try to say it a lot of times, but I can't. So, drama has it that he annoyed a lot of people by spamming them with the link to his, side note, awful streams. He constantly bugged them to join his stream, to watch it, and his streams really weren't that great. He also complained a lot about not having a girlfriend because of his looks. He wrote a total essay about how he looked with his eyes and his nose and literally everything else. When I read that, I was like, ooh, damn, okay, somebody's fishing for some compliments. Oh, damn. Like, okay, you do you, sir. And he had aspirations to develop video games, or video games in general, for a long time. So he had a hero called Mike C. He is the main programmer of Skullgirls, and he made a game which was really not good. It wasn't good at all. The coding was bad, the game concept wasn't good. Literally everything about the game was just bad, and so Mike C obviously didn't praise it. And Alex at that time was so hurt, so devastated, so depressed. He turned his anger and hatred into fuel to, that's what he said, that's what he actually said, to develop a real game and all that jizzy jazz. And I get it, people don't always have to like agree with criticism, especially when it comes from someone you look up to, but I thought that was really, really ridiculous and really, I mean, come on, you're an adult, you should be able to like deal with criticism in a normal and proper way. So he made his first real game, Lunar Skype or something like that. I hope I pronounced it right, but it's Lunar Skype. It was it's so weird. It's a side-scrolling hack and slash game, and I think it's even featured in Yandere Simulator, if I understood that right. But the game really wasn't good, and the main character was just an edgy-looking woman, and her quest was to like cleanse the world of human filth. You know, like, come on, let's put all the r/I'm 14 and this is deep stuff in. And he also made himself look pretty ridiculous when he kept showing everyone the same character drawn by different people over and over and over again, and totally ignoring what other people were telling him. Like, he really made himself look like a clown. I'm sorry. So, he turned into YandereDev. I wouldn't say evolved. And he's also lovely and beautifully called by his beautiful fans Dev I, because Senpai and YandereDev, it's a mix. It's really and he, like I said, he had a really interesting idea about Yandere Simulator, and I mean, I was kind of hoping there would be a way to not kill them, like in a pacifist way, and I think there are actually ways, but there are only a few, and I don't even think they're properly made right now. So so people started to like put A and B together, like back then Alex and YandereDev weren't the same person back then, and people started to like try to put A and B together. He also he posted as YandereDev on April 22nd, 2014, his little sub story about the issue with Mike C and his game that he made. I'm just gonna read it out loud and put the picture on screen so you can read it for yourself. And okay, here we go. I was inspired to become an indie dev by a very well-known programmer who almost single-handedly programmed a fighting game. He was my hero, my inspiration. I decided to try my hand at making a fighting game engine. I worked on it for 3 months and I was really proud of it, so I decided to show it to my hero. He was really unimpressed. He asked to see my code. and criticized it very harshly. He told me he would never want to hire me or work for me. He told me that my engine was absolutely garbage. He told me that with the level of coding experience he had back in 1999, he could have made a better engine than I'd made. Prior to that experience, I was feeling very confident about my coding ability, but after meeting my hero and showing him my game, I just felt like some kind of talentless fraud. I felt like I had just wasted the last 3 months. I started wondering if I should abandon the game, abandon my dreams of a career in the game industry. I wondered if I should never have faith in my own talent again. Worst of all, my hero said all of this in the chat room with my friends, and it made me look terrible in front of everyone. I lost the respect of my friends, my self-confidence, my career plans, 3 months of work, and my dream of making a fighting game, all in one night. It was devastating. I became depressed. I turned my depression into a burning hatred that fuels my desire to develop indie games and eventually outshine that asshole. This could be a basic background story for any edgy teenage anime boy, but I'm just saying. So people finally found out that Alex and YandereDev are the very same person, and made himself look ridiculous again. I'm gonna put the picture up there so you can see it for yourself. It's kind of hard for me to like explain it because first of all I have a very short attention span, and second of all I'm not that smart, so I wouldn't get it, and I'm pretty sure you can get it yourself. I believe in you. And now he came back as YandereDev and he continued his videos, and in one of his videos he blamed his fans for the slow progress of the game because of constant emails he's getting sent, which is a stupid thing to do. Blaming other people for your own bad things is like, or for your own mistake, is like a very childish thing to do. If you're 10 years old or 14 years old, I would totally get it. Okay, you're puberty, you're a kid, you know, I get it. You're not even developed in the brain yet, but you're 30 years old, 32, and you still act like a kid. Like, I'm not against age era when you act like a kid or something like that. I'm totally fine with that. It's like a coping mechanism, but not in this case, because he's obviously thinking he is in the right here. He is the mature one. He is like the adult and yeah, the person who's right, even though he's not. So after PewDiePie started to play the game, it totally blew off. Like, he received 5k a month, and that's a lot of money for the game, and that's how this game turned into his job. And I mean, if somebody would pay me to make videos or anything like that, I would constantly sit in my room and record videos, just try to do a good job. And I'm not just saying that to make myself look good. That's a normal human thing we would do if somebody would pay us. I'm not saying he's not putting any effort in the game. I mean, credits due where credits due. He does have a good idea, and there are a few things he did actually really good, but they are just being overshadowed by all the crap he's done. And he always searches for excuses why his game development is just so slow. He also had a very bad relationship with his volunteers, and I think he actually addressed the problem. I'm gonna read it out loud and put it on the screen again because I'm a great editor. Hey, I just realized something. The second allegation is that I am a child solicitor and sex offender. These accusations are almost too silly to dignify with a response, but I respond nonetheless. About 6 years ago, I knew a young woman who did a lot of inappropriate things in order to get people to pay attention to her. One of the things she did was to send nude pictures of herself to lots of people. I was one of the people who she sent nude pictures to. Months later, I learned that she was actually too young to be doing that sort of thing. I deleted her pictures immediately, of course. Months later, what the heck? To be perfectly clear, the pictures were I don't go around asking kids to send me nude pics. I never said her age. I never actually said she was underage or under 18. I just said she was a young woman and inappropriate and too young to be doing that, which could mean anything. That's a very stupid thing to say, first of all, because you're too young to do that under the age of 18. As soon as you're 18, you're free to do whatever you want if it affects your body or, well, you know, or sexual stuff. That's totally your choice. But under the age of 18 or under the age of, you know, you shouldn't do that. That's when it really is seen as too young. But I don't think he really understands. So he also kept the picture for several months, it seems, which is pretty weird. But he still managed to like have a big fan base with people. He once lost $500 on Patreon because he was announcing that he would implement a Yakuza fighting style on Yandere Simulator, but that was totally stupid, and he also apologized about the idea and cancelled it, which was good. His coding is very, very bad. It just contains of else if statements. I'm not good with coding. I don't have that much experience in it, but I watched this one video of this guy. I will put his link in the description. Who kind of dissects his code and like analyzes it and explains it and tells us why it's bad. So yeah. His coding is really, really bad, and when people called him out for it, he was belittling these people, saying they don't have as much experience as he does, and that these people are just jealous and all that stuff. But that was obviously not the case. They were just pointing out the mistakes of the code, because it was really bad, and it was also affecting the frame rate of the game. Concerning the frame rate, he low-key blamed it on his fans, on people who play the game. If your computer is bad, the frame rate will be bad. That's what he basically said, which is such a selfish thing to say. Like, excuse me, just accept the fact that you're making mistakes and everything would be like cool and chill, but apparently he can't do that. There's also this one issue, not concerning the code, but in most of his videos there is a green-haired girl called Midori Gurin, and she's meant to represent his fans who annoy him. And in some of his videos he actually kills her. And again, she is meant to represent his fan base. If my fan base would annoy me or something like that, that's, oh my god, like the audacity he has. He's getting praised for something. He's getting paid for something, to do something so simple. And I will say later on why it's so simple. Yet he treats his fan base so crappy. The game is great, the creator is awful. That's just a side note of mine. There are also a lot of stereotypes, bad stereotypes in the game. For example, the currency in the game is, lo and behold, panty shots. You can actually go into the school, take that little phone of yours and kneel down and take panty shots of these poor schoolgirls. He claims that they are all above the age of 18, even if stated otherwise. This is so disgusting, especially since this is supposed to be a middle school or high school? I don't even know. But I can assure you, one of the rivals, for example, is definitely not above the age of 18. She is, in fact, Senpai's little sister. If that's not the weirdest thing you have ever heard, excuse me, what the heck? There's also this mod where you can enlarge the breasts of these poor schoolgirls as much as you want to. There's also a very infamous clip of YandereDev doing just that and being very, very perverted about it and being very disgusting. It's really not nice. I will try to add this clip in here, but maybe I should just spare your poor innocent eyes. One of the elimination methods, for example, is also a very annoying stereotype where you can spread rumors about a girl that could lead her into being bullied to the point where she gets so suicidal, and people will put a flower on her desk and she will actually commit suicide. That's something that happens in Japan a lot of times. For example, when people die or commit suicide in school or anything like that, they mostly put a flower on the desk. And during the time when people were bullied, sometimes they used this method to like tell them to kill themselves, which is very, very awful. Oh yeah, and he also made a character called My Waifu, which, well, MAIWAIFU, which is literally just my waifu. And what's funny is, oh yeah, well, yeah, you know what's funny? People actually thought that he was like his girlfriend or his wife, and I was actually one of them, to be honest. I always thought that he like implanted his love relationship, which I thought was really, really cute, until after 2 years or so I realized, oh damn, wait a minute, he doesn't really have a wife or a girlfriend. So yeah. What else is there? Oh, and there's a character whose makeup style has fallen out of era. I totally forgot what the style is called, but yeah. And you can also change the panties of Yandere-chan, your protagonist, and these panties will have different certain skills, and you can increase them. For example, there are, I won't give any, this is just disgusting. When I played the game, and I played it a lot between 2017 and 2019, I was always a bit confused, and I always picked the panties that would make me go faster. I didn't really understand the concept, but it was weird. He also claimed that Yandere Simulator would be finished in 2019, and that he would launch a Kickstarter about it. The thing is, he can't make a single asset himself without buying it on Unity or asking his volunteers to make some for him. And the thing is, he said that the game would be done in 2019. It's 2020, we're approaching the end of 2020. Finally, this year's been crazy. And like, we still haven't gotten the first rival, and he said that he would release her on February 14th. That was when he was about to release her, but because everyone was so mean to me, I'm gonna not do it. I'm gonna not do it. Yeah, grammar, Selena, awful. I'm not gonna do it. And he put that excuse out for 2 or 3 times already this year, which is ridiculous. Just release her. You're getting paid for this. When you're in a job and you're getting paid for it, you have to do your job and not whine constantly about things. That's just so ridiculous, but it's just me talking. And another friendly reminder, he gets 5k on his paid run, and his volunteers are doing most of his work. And volunteer means that you do work for free. For example, when you volunteer in an animal shelter, you work there, but you don't get any money because you want to help. Or when you volunteer at, like, I don't know. And that's the same case here. People volunteer to work for him to help him with the game. They're not getting paid. And instead of like giving something back, as in, you know, finishing the game and actually working hard, he blames it on his fans, on everyone else around him. That's just so ridiculous, if you ask me. There has also been another issue. I don't have the screenshots of him saying it, but there is someone in the fan base, I'm not sure if it's a girl or a boy, so I'm just gonna say they, who posted a statement to that. I'm gonna read it out loud, put a picture on the screen so you can read it yourself, but this pretty much sums up what happened. LMAO, what kind of game dev does then expects everyone to act like what you did was justified and professional? You're a goddamn mess. You literally called her an autistic little and threatened to send your fanbase after her and to dox her, all because she had a blog where she called you out in the past. guess you haven't learned this yet, Alex, but anyone can look up your past usernames and find out all you've done. Stuff you post online doesn't just go away. Instead of blocking her and ignoring it like a goddamn adult, you send your fan base after her. I heard the stream. Stop trying to blow this off. 27. Alex, act like it. And I think she couldn't have put it out any better. Or they couldn't put it out any better. Like, he's an adult, he really should act better. And in his stream, he once told his fan to kill himself, or herself, to just kill himself, which is such an awful thing to do, especially in a stream. Like, excuse me, what? There's also the issue with the school uniform, which is a sailor uniform, and a real Japanese teacher kind of called him out on it and told him that only elementary students wear these, which is a very good thing to say because I hate stereotypes. For example, it's just so ridiculous. It's just, you know. Oh, here's also another thing. He got asked a question for voice actors, and his reply was really. It's weird. It's very. He doesn't really appreciate his fan base. It's very clear to see. So, Michaela Martin asked, "Hi YandereDev, if you wanted to be a voice actor for Yandere Simulator, how would you apply? Are you looking for voice actors? If so, I would like to be one." YandereDev replied, "Every day, dozens of people contact me offering to be voice actors. They are all between 12 and 13-year-olds with crappy microphones. I'm very, very tired of hearing from inexperienced amateurs who waste my time. At this point, I can only accept help from experienced professionals who have their names in the credits of a commercial product." Tyler replied, "Did you expect anything else, YandereDev?" I think he should at least appreciate the efforts. I mean, if you're 12 or 13 years old and you actually get out there and like try to reach out, damn, that's very, very brave. I wouldn't be able to do that, so props to you. Not the YandereDev, but the kids. He also bought and stole the assets and says it's just a placeholder and only temporary until he finishes the sandbox into a game. And the thing is, yeah, it's already been 6 years. Dude, when will you finish? It's just ridiculous. And for most of the stolen assets, he just literally just recolored the hair and called it his own professional work. Alright, so we have new tea coming in. God, I feel so ridiculous for saying this. A few days ago, I think about 2 weeks or so ago, he's not the first one, but there is somebody called Dr. Apis who decided, okay, I will just do it myself, the game. And he bought the assets on Unity Store. In 2 weeks, he was able to do work that was like 2 years of YandereDev. And that's amazing. And he started out alone. And the thing is, YandereDev said that he apparently stole the assets, stole the assets from YandereDev, which is just ridiculous because first of all, these assets are not YandereDev's. And second of all, no, Dr. Apis bought them. And he's also like making most of these assets himself now. Like he redesigned so many things. The frame rate is good. It's just ridiculous at how childish YandereDev is at this point. Like, he also, now we're getting to some real serious stuff. But before we get there, there has been a game called Watashi no Mono, and the developer of the game had to stop because of, well, YandereDev. And I will tell you just why. Because there has been a very, very awful conversation between them. The awful person was YandereDev, obviously. There was also email from YandereDev, and the subject was fan game credits, and the message was, please remove my name from your disgusting rip-off game. I do not want my name anywhere near your stupid game. My game is the original and superior Yandere game. You're probably doing this to troll people like new YandereDev and those Kiwi farms cucks. I hope you die. Remove any mention of me or my name from your game and don't speak to me. That's awful. Okay, that's awful. And Petition no Mono is a beautiful game. I saw trailers, I saw people actually playing it. It was just beautiful. And it's nothing like Yandere Simulator. It's better, in my opinion. Sorry, it's better. The graphics are amazing. The assets are all self-made, and the animations are self-made. And there was a lot of progress. From what I heard, is that they cancelled the development. If they continued, I'm sorry. And yeah, but like, this is just getting out of hand. They also had a very beautiful conversation on Discord. Homemade Meal is the name of the developer of Petition no Mono, and YandereDev as well. YandereDev. I took people's suggestions. That doesn't mean I'm incompetent or bad at anything, YandereDev replied. I don't know what to tell you. It's like I'm speaking to people who come from two completely different realities. In one reality, Petition no Mono is a sham, and the other reality, Petition no Mono is a genuine attempt at a game. What I do know is that people feel justified in attacking me or lose faith in me or withdraw financial support from me because they believe that Petition no Mono is proof that I could be doing my job faster. But from what I hear, Petition no Mono is held together with bubblegum and band-aids, and you've even had to reboot development from scratch. So if I make a video saying, guys, I don't have enough income, and the response is, you don't deserve income, Petition no Mono is proof, then I have to follow up by explaining that Petition no Mono isn't an example of a well-developed game. And it would suck ass to have to do that, since I hate drama and discussing other games. So if it came clean to your audience, then there wouldn't be an ugly, messy situation for me to have to deal with, which is a very stupid thing to say, by the way, but okay, whatever floats your boat, I guess. So in short, you're asking me, I am not sure if this came right after, but this is the next screenshot I've got for you. So in short, you're asking me to go up to my entire community and say, hey guys, my game was fake the entire time, my code is bad, and I'm starting from scratch because the game was trash in general. Sorry, you can leave the fanbase now. YandereDev replied very cheekily, yes, because that's my understanding of the situation, and it would be nothing short of honesty and transparency to admit this to your audience. Imagine the audacity somebody has to have, to like think that what he's saying there is right, because it's not. It's just, I'm not sure on which high horse he is sitting right now, but I really hope he gets off it, or else he will just fall down, not because people will push him off, but because this high horse will literally just throw him off. Like, nobody likes people like him. I mean, some people will support just what he does, but I don't, and many other people don't do it as well. So I got another little treat for you. I feel like I'm just giving out treats to y'all. The irony isn't lost on me. It's possible that I have an entirely incorrect understanding of the situation. Maybe the volunteers and ex-volunteers I spoke to were exaggerating or mistaken. I've been told that X is 2, which is why I've drawn the conclusion that X plus X is 4. Maybe I've been misinformed about X. What I do know is that when people attack me, mistreat me, abuse me, and harass me, their justification is Petition no Mono. You're working on a project that negatively impacts my well-being, and when I ask you, can you please tell the people in your YouTube comments not to be shitty towards me, you won't even agree to do something that simple, that basic, that humane. Homemade Meal replied with, you're literally asking someone else to take down their hard work to better your hard work. That's not basic and human. And I completely agree with them. Just because Yandere Simulator sucks doesn't mean that Petition no Mono has to be taken down, just because it's better. But this is only the beginning of a very long ride of fan games. He also indirectly threatened to commit suicide, which is one of the worst things you can do. Not just to commit suicide, but also threaten someone that you will commit suicide if they don't do a certain thing. The actual drama started a while ago, but I don't feel like talking about that. If you are aware that your project is having so many destructive consequences on another person's life, how can you possibly continue? Don't you see how harmful and damaging this is for me? If the cause of Yanderism later was ending a person's life, I'd cancel development. Which is a very, very strong statement and very ridiculous indeed, because, excuse me, Dr. Apis, it's not your responsibility to make sure YandereDev is okay. He's acting totally shitty towards you and like treats you like a bad person. It's just so ridiculous that he thinks he gets to like, oh my god, it's just, I can't even. There has also been a lot more things going on, but this is like the most important stuff I just pointed out. In his little debunk window on his website, he writes down the statements his fans make and debunks them, which is, I just read through them, and it's mostly just, no, I did not, no, I didn't, no, no, that's not true, no, there's more to it. I didn't even bother to read it, which is probably my mistake, but this is just so annoying. Anyway, so I felt like making this video because, first of all, this is very important, and I'm pretty sure a few viewers of mine actually still support him, and it's important for them to know what's going on. And because I wanted to make this video a long time ago, but now it feels more frequent and more important because, excuse me, what is going on right now? Tomorrow I will record my next episode for Black Desert, my favorite game. I will try to finish this current video until then, which is probably not gonna happen because I still have to add a lot of things with pictures and so on. So first editing video, I'm pretty excited. Okay, if you ever feel sad, drink chocolate milk and relax. I'm here for you. You've got this. I believe in you. Anyway, bye bye.